Where?
Well, yeah, but
Okay, so I
anything done there is no.
we're walking to our seats. We are here. These are really awesome seats.
I mean, I saw sunrise.
Yes. So, really good seats. We got here a little early so that we could eat, and then we'll be ready when the trials actually start. We got about an hour, so it is what it is. We might go walk around a little bit.
The subscribe button is down below. And comment if you're here or you already went to see the trials. Bye.
All right. See ya.
Trials, the technical officials. Johnson. Head deck referee, Dana Covington. Team lead chief judge will be sung by members of one of the largest professional children's choirs in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indianapolis Children's Choir.
Woo!
Rise.
Freestyle. Let's watch it. Look at him, Kay.
No one has ever broken 24 seconds on American soil. Could that change this evening? Lost the top team from the semifinals of 24-06 last night. Adding Wetzel's up to a great start in lane 3. She holds the US Open record 24-0. Wetzel and Walsh battling down the stretch. 5 meters to go.
Yes and no. I put in a lot of work to get to this point. I wasn't feeling too confident after last night. I spent a lot of time watching races where I won. I really wanted to channel that Simone because I know I'm a winner. And it's crazy, it's really special how things turn around in 24 hours and how I continue to trust in God, so I'm really thankful.
You have talked about being Simone 2.0 and wanting to have more fun. What are you most looking forward to as we shift the focus now to Paris about these Olympic Games?
Just getting better, having a fun time with Team USA. The last experience was tough for me, but I still had amazing teammates that got me through it. And so I'm just looking for a really fun experience with Team USA this summer.
Can't wait to see it.
Yay, Simone!
This is my favorite part of the night. When I throw stuff in the crowd
final of the men's 1500-meter freestyle. Lane 1 is appearing in his third championship final of the meet, representing Scottsdale Aquatic Club and Sun Devil Swimming, Daniel Matheson. Lane 2 set his New England swimming record in the 2024 Speedo Sectionals from Shaman Aquatic Club, William Mulgrew. Lane 3, a double finalist at the 2022 Short Course World Championships from Vacationland Swim Club at Ohio State University, Charlie Clark. Lane 4 is the reigning Olympic champion and American record holder, representing Florida and St. Petersburg Aquatics, Bobby Fink. Lane 5, representing the swim team, the 2023 national champion, David Johnston. Lane 6, 2024 Paris Olympian in the 800 freestyle, representing the Missions Area Swim Tigers, Lou Whitlock. Lane 7, two-time finalist at the 2023 World Junior Championships from Sandpipers of Nevada, Luke Ellis.
Got it. Got it.
Lane 8 set a New Mexico state record at the 2023 Speedo Sectional, now representing Kentucky Aquatics, Carson Heck.
Okay. Okay. We'll learn.
This is the final of the men's 1500-meter freestyle.
All right. Watch him, Kay. Look. Watch him.
Four of the swimmers in this field, correction, 5 of the swimmers, 4 had the best time out of the preliminaries to qualify for this race. They include William Mulgrew, the 17-year-old in lane 2 from Shaman Aquatic Club. Luke Whitlock in lane 6, personal best in prelim, same for Luke Ellis at 7, and Carson Hick in lane 8. A 20-second drop for Hick down to 15-17. He did that out of 802, earned his second swim in the 1500-meter freestyle. Of course, Fink, his personal best for the 2023 Worlds with Fukuoka, one of the most brilliant races of all time, where he nearly toppled the world record, a silver medal swim in 14:31.59, which now has Fink as the number 3 performer in history in the 1500-meter freestyle. At 14:31.59, current American record, the long course national record set by Fink at the 2023 National Team Trials in Indianapolis was 14:42.81. And the world record belongs to Sun Yang of China, set in 2012 13:31.02 to get the gold medal at the London Games. Fink on his way to that American record was a 154.5 on the opening 200 meters. Clearly establishing himself as the man to beat here early on in the race. Bobby Fink's going to flip through with a 154.21, right on his personal best pace. As behind him, you've got Daniel Matheson in lane 1 and second. Walking third from lane 6, followed by David Johnston try to beat everybody else. On the 800, Luke Whitlock took the approach of I'm going to end with fake and beat everybody else, and he did just that. Pick up that second place finish and earn his ticket to Paris. Now at the 300, Whitlock has moved into second with 257.12. Matheson right behind him at 257.5 out of 21. Matheson having quite the performance this week. Seventh place finish in the 400 freestyle, third in the 800. Matheson's personal best, a 15:01.9 from the 2023 Tier Pro Championships in Irvine. Rolling up on the 400 now, makes American record split at 351.86. Maybe a little premature to start tracking those splits, but maybe so far in front of the field here at 352.46, 29.5 on that 50. Leads Whitlock at 357.0, 358.1. No lead changes behind things since the 250 when it went over that second place roll. Taking a look at that age group history in this event, the 17-18 age group, that national record mark of Larson Jensen set in the 2004 Olympic Games. It's a 14:45.29. Bobby Fink number 2 all time. He was a 14:48.70 as an 18-year-old from the 2018 Pan Pacific Championships. Whitlock's 15:07 currently has him top 15 all time. Whitlock yesterday warning in the preliminaries. Over that 15:07.94. Best time from Whitlock came from the Indy makeup guy right at the tornado. The 600 meter with Whitlock in that race was a 6:05.53. Big rolls through at a 5:50.84, putting on a display for you here at Lucas Oil Stadium. As he leads Whitlock by 6 seconds, David Johnston staying within a second of Whitlock. Whitlock here at 5:56.89, so nearly 10 seconds better than his personal best pace. 18-year-old out in lane 6. Taking a look at the world rankings for 2024, the man to beat currently is Daniel Whiffen of Ireland, who was the champion in the 1500 at Doha Worlds in February with a 14:34.07. Second fastest this year, 14:42.28 for Ryan Wellbrock of Germany. And we got a couple of newcomers here internationally speaking, David Aubrey of France and Tommy Bethlehem of Hungary at 14:44 and 14:46 respectively. Those guys more open water competitors, leading Mikhailo Romanchuk of Ukraine at 14:47.54. Romanchuk was the silver medalist and wins gold at the Tokyo Games. Nothing to chance here and letting the world know he is still a primary contender for Olympic gold in the 1500 as he's going to roll up here on the 800 meter with a massive advantage 7:45.98. Seconds off of that now at 7:48.80. Steady goes up 29s from Fink as he works through this race. Now into his back half. Whitlock and Johnston separated by 6/10 of a second as they move through the 800-meter turn. Whitlock at 7:56.8, Johnston at 7:57.4. Johnston doing his journey for the swing team now out of Southern California. A Texas native out of Dallas. His collegiate swimming for the Longhorns. For Bobby Fink, 8:47.54, 29.4 on that 50. 30.0s from both Whitlock and Johnston, separated by about 7/10. You see Whitlock staying on that far side of the lane, not trying to let Johnston pick up any kind of trap. Making sure he's swimming his own race here. Those top three still Daniel Matheson out of lane 4 and Sundell swimming sub 9 minutes at the 900 meter, 8:59.5. Leading the 9:03.11 from Luke Ellis in lane 76, 17-year-old out of Las Vegas. This will be the 1,000-meter turn for Bobby Fink, the American record holder with a 9:46.5. And clearly now the battle is going to be for silver. Johnston in 4, Whitlock in 5. Still separated by less than a second with 500 meters to go. Basically his best time. He was right on it. It's been a 15:02.37. Lost the 2042 Phillips 66 National Championships out of the fight.
10 laps, all right.
Matheson in that race taking the 4th place with 15 at 19.99.
Matheson is gone.
Fink continuing to pound away at this field. 29.4 on that 50. So in a similar format last year, the International Team Giants, 14:42.81 is the winning time for Bobby Fink to set a long-course national meet record, as well as the U.S. Open record, the fastest 1,500 ever within the United States. Fink here just need to be within 10 seconds of his personal best to lower his own U.S. Open record. Certainly within the sights here for Fink of Florida in lane 4. This will be the 1,200-meter turn, looking for something around 44.3 on the board, and it's exactly that from Bobby Fink. Meanwhile, David Johnson has made the move into second place as he has got down to 29.4, 29.5 over the last 100. Whitlock with a pair of 29.8s now he's moved over. And this will be the next 3 points of the board, so the deciding factor in this race for second place. Johnson's going to go. Whitlock has to stay with him at this point.
Okay.
43.9 the target for Fink at the 1,300-meter turn. Such consistency here from the world. Olympic champion Fink of 43.6. Under that pace, under U.S. Open record pace, Bobby Fink goes into the final 200 meters. Putting on what is now the Can&Kess performance in the 1,500-meter training partners out of the University of Florida. Searches for his first Olympic berth. The bell turn now for Fink. 13:43.6 was that split in the U.S. Open record. He gets up now to 3:06. Oh, no Fink is going to close this race. Himself on that final 50. Johnson at 29.5. He's feeling it now and not slowing down. He's got his body like advantage over the Uber body. We'll see what the good leg on can muster here. He's at the feet of Johnson going into the final two. Here comes Bobby Fink. And Lucas Oil Stadium looking for his second title here in the U.S. Olympic Team Trials. Having cemented himself as one of the greatest Olympic freestylers in U.S. men's swimming history. Trying to keep the weight and gets within a quarter second of David Johnston, who wins the race for second, touching the wall in lane 5 with 14:52.7. Johnston shaves 10 seconds off his personal best. Of the competition, top two finishers climbing out of the lane on solid Indianapolis. Let's hear it for David Johnston and your champion, Bobby Fink.
I'll start with you because you now have the opportunity to defend your two Olympic golds from 2021. How much are you looking forward to that challenge?
I'm just looking forward to getting back in and racing those boys. They've pushed me to my best, and getting able to race them again, I'm always looking forward to it.
And now you kind of came out of the blue for the last one, right? Now you're one of the favorites. Does that change the mindset going in?
Not really the mindset, maybe like the pressure going into it, but I'm always going in just trying to race it and do my best.
What about this guy right here? David, you finished 3rd and 4th earlier this week. You saved your best for last. You pointed to your head for mental toughness. How'd you pull this one out?
I just got to thank all my close friends and family that have helped me through this week. It didn't go the way that I planned. I've been training for this for a year. I just had a devastating 3rd and 4th place finish, and just my family and my friends were able to get me back on mentally. I feel like I've learned a lot this week that I'm going to be able to take forward into the future, and that just really taught me, even if things don't go according to plan, I just got to keep believing in myself and just dig deeper than I ever have. And it took everything I had to get to that wall. My legs at the 300-meter were completely gone, and I just had to fight with everything I had to get there. And I'm just glad I kind of saved my meat.
Well, you did it. You're headed to your first Olympic Games. Congratulations.
Please welcome the medal ceremony for the women's 50 meters freestyle. Presenting the award for the women's 50 freestyle is a 5-time Olympian, a 12-time Olympic medalist, former world and American record holder, and the first and only swimmer to represent the United States in 5 Olympic Games, Torres. Torres is accompanied by Chair of the USA Swimming Board of Directors, Chris Rearton. Freestyle to their schedule in Paris. Representing National Aquatic Club at the University of Virginia, coached by Todd DeSorda, Gretchen Walsh. Representing Sun Devil Swimming, coached by Herbie Wynn, Simone Manuel.
Watches women's sports.
Yes,
How good does it feel?
it feels amazing. Super glad to be back on the Olympic team and then also swim the 50 free, especially with Gretchen. I think it's going to be really special in Paris.
Now, Simone, we know it takes a village. Who do you want to shout out?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna keep it together. I want to shout out my family, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my grandmother, my husband. He has been my rock through this and we've made so many sacrifices for me to get here, so this is just as much his as it is mine. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my teammates, ASU, I'm so grateful for that village. Fans, oh my gosh, all the encouragement that I've gotten so much encouragement from volunteers here. Honestly, and my fellow competitors, I could really go on and on about the love and support that I've felt over the past 3 years and the past 9 days. I'm so grateful and blessed. And then also, lastly, I'd like to say happy birthday, Dad!
Happy birthday today. All right, Simone, we already know who you are, but tell us who you are and that you're a Paris Olympian.
I'm Simone Manuel, and I'm a Paris Olympian!
All right, Gretchen, I have to ask you, how do you keep it together for day 9, an individual race, and how do you stay grounded? How do you stay composed?
I mean, it's been hard. It's a long meet. I felt the extra day this time around. But honestly, the fans, this has been amazing. Thank you all so much for coming out on day 9. We feel the support. All 16 of us who spent time, we really, really appreciate it. And of course, just my coaches and teammates showing up tonight, staying the whole duration of the meet, cheering me on. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you give it up one more time for these incredible women going through it?
The medal ceremony for newly confirmed members of the United States Olympic team. Co-presenting the awards for this ceremony, 2016 Olympian nominee Margalis Fink and 2004 Olympian Marissa Araya McClendon. Next members of the United States Olympic swimming team heading to Paris. In the women's 400-meter freestyle, representing New York Athletic Club, coached by Bob Bowman, Paige Madden. In the men's 400-meter individual medley, representing Longhorn Athletics and the University of Georgia, coached by Bob Bowman, Chase King. In the men's 100-meter backstroke, representing New York Athletic Club, coached by Dave Durden, Hunter Armstrong. In the men's 200-meter freestyle, representing California Aquatics and Dynamo, and coached by Dave Durden, Brooks Curry. In the men's 100-meter freestyle, representing Texas Ford Aquatics, coached by Colby Stickles, Matt King. And in the men's 200-meter freestyle, representing Indiana University, coached by Ray Lewis, Blake Pironi.
question is this your first Olympic team?
Yeah, it's my
How about that, Indianapolis? Now, I know you've watched a lot of Olympic games. Relays are super important. What is this team makeup and team chemistry going to be here?
I'm so excited to be here. I mean, I made the World's team last summer, and that was the coolest experience. And I bet this is going to be 10,000 times cooler than that. And I'm just so happy to be here in front of my parents. They're right there in 126. I love you guys so much. And I'm just so happy to be here.
That's awesome.
All right, Blake, I gotta ask you, buddy, what was it like waiting to see if guys would be doubling? I mean, what did the emotion come up the elevator? Now talk us through this to the moment you found out you're going to Paris.
Honestly, I wasn't even tracking it that much because it seems like I was just torturing myself with something that I, really couldn't control. I was really just happy with my performances this week, and so I wasn't really focusing on it too much. But it's great that it happened. I think I owe Bobby or Thomas a big hug, or a lot more than that. But yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to go right down the line. Say your name. 2024 Paris Olympic. Ready, man? You going to lead this relay off? Yeah, you can throw. You can do whatever you want, bro. This is your stage. Come on. Here we go.
All right. I'm Matt King, and I'm a 2024 Paris Olympian.
I'm Chase Kalish, and I'm a 2024 Paris Olympian.
I'm Blake Roney, and I'm a 2024 Paris Olympian.
I'm Brooks Curry, and I'm a 2024 Paris Olympian.
Armstrong, and I'm a Paris 2024 Olympian.
I'm Paige Madden, and I'm a Paris 2024 Olympian.
Presenting the awards, the men's 1500-meter freestyle. 1976 Olympian, 5-time Olympic medalist with 4 gold medals, John Neighbor. Accompanied by President and CEO of USA Swimming, Tim Hinchy III, and President and CEO of One America Financial, Scott Davidson. The next member of the United States Olympic swimming team heading to Paris. Representing the swim team, coached by Mark Schubert, David Johnston. And representing St. Petersburg and University of Florida, coached by Anthony Nesty, Bobby Fink.
these 9 days behind us and both love surrounding team, it's pretty incredible. There's 2 little kids up here in the suite that told me to tell you this tag grid. Yeah, you've been playing tag with 2 kids all week. You think these guys are not having fun? They're having fun in Indy. Dave, I gotta ask you, has it sunk in yet, man?
I don't think so, but I think it will. I'm just really tired from that last 500 meters. I told my sister, I said, I'm in a football stadium. I told my dad too. I said, this is a football stadium. I'm down 0-2, and I'm going to throw a Hail Mary. I just had to put everything out there, and that was my last run. It barely worked, so I'm just really glad I found those extra 210s. I think I had to put everything I had in. It's only 210, so just got to thank all the coaches from my entire life, Tom Applegate, Neil Walker, Eddie Reese, and Mark Schubert, and many more that have helped me get to this point.
Bobby, I'm going to let you do this with me.
I'm David Johnston, and I'm a 2024 Paris Olympian.
I'm Bobby Fink, and I'm a Paris 2024 Olympian.
Technical officials representing USA Swimming at the Paris Olympic Games. Kathleen Scandary and Lisa Federline. Team USA coaches, head coaches Todd DeSorbo and Anthony Nesty. Assistant coaches Chris Plum, Carol Capitani, Dave Durden, Greg Meehan, Chris Lindauer, Braden Holloway. Open water head coach Ron Aitken and open water assistant coach Corey Chicklin.
U.S. Olympic medical staff, John Janusco, Megan Kerstetter, Brian Fong, and Julie Gorman. And your U.S. Olympic team support, Adriana Quirk. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your women's 2024 U.S. Olympic swim team. Gretchen Walsh, Katie Ledecky, Mariah Danigan, Katie Grimes, Lily King, Claire Weinstein, Paige Madden, Erin Gimmel, Reagan Smith, Kate Douglas, Tori Huss, Simone Manuel, Emma Wyatt, Emma Weber, Catherine Burkhoff, Alex Shackle, Phoebe Bacon, Abby Weitzel, Erica Connolly, and Alex Walsh. Ladies and gentlemen, your women's 2024 U.S. Olympic swim team heading to Paris.
That's the swim team.
Jackson Foster, Nick Fink, Aaron Shackle, Luke Hobson, Chris Juliana, Drew Kibler, Kieran Smith, Ivan Puskovich, Ryan Murphy, Bobby Fink, Thomas Heilman, Matt Fallon, Jack Alexi, Caleb Dressel, Hunter Armstrong, Shane Casas, Luca Orlando, Josh Matheny, Keaton Jones, Luke Whitlock, Chase Kalis, Charlie Swanson, Ryan Hell, Brooks Curry, Matt King, David Johnston, and Blake Baroni.
The lift was having some issues.
These are the representatives of USA Swimming for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
so much for attending. The 2024 U.S. Olympic Team Trials for swimming here at Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, has been an absolutely spectacular host for some of the best swimmers in the world and by far the best swimming event in world history. We had an American record swim teams, and we had countless numbers of PRs and great swims along the way. All of that thanks to you and your support of the sport of swimming in the United States. Please make sure to think about all of these swimmers as they head over to Paris to represent the United States of America. Congratulations to all of our athletes. Thank you once again for making this meet a huge success. Please have a safe night. We'll see you soon. Congratulations, Team USA.
Just can't make it all alone. I'm holding on, I can't fall back. I'm just
they are starting to disassemble stuff. We were the first to have the pool in the NFL stadium. So cool. So glad that we got to see the Olympic team for 2024 Paris Olympics swimming be announced here at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis. Good luck to all the Olympians from the USA. Okay.
And the subscribe button is down below. And subscribe and comment down below if you were here or you went last time or someone in your family that was swimming here today or tomorrow. I mean, the other days. Bye.
Hey, we are here.
Swim trials are done.
They're done. So we are leaving, but I wanted to leave you. I know it's kind of bright down there, but wanted to leave you with just a view. So bye.
The subscribe button is down below, and comment if you were here today, last time, and if you went to Aqua Zone the days, and then also if one of your family members were here performing to try to get to go to Paris.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.